Laughing, he's got his game face on, ready to lead the Bulls into Golden State. We tip it off from Oaktown in mere moments.
Symbolic of the stormy weather that their hometown Warriors have endured during the course of the regular season in the Western Conference. Tonight, they take on the Chicago Bulls. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with Tom Tolbert. Thanks for coming aboard. The Chicago Bulls playing the 6th game in a long and arduous 7-game road trip. The good news for the Golden State Warriors, Tom, they're home after a 6-game road trip. But you know what? The bad news is they're playing without their best players. We take a look at the starting lineups. The Chicago Bulls up front, Wallace Deng and P.J. Brown in the backcourt. It'll be Ben Gordon trying to shake off a shaky shooting night last night in Sacramento, along with Kurt Heinrich. Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors have sported more starting lineups than any team this year in the NBA. Biendrich, Harrington, and Jackson, and in the backcourt, Michael Petrus and Monte Ellis having a breakthrough year starting at the point tonight. And we talked about Golden State playing without Baron Davis, who will miss his 3rd consecutive game. How did they get it done without arguably their best player?
Well, they're a team that's used to it. Jason Richardson has not played a game this year at 100%. They're hoping to get him back after the All-Star break. Baron Davis missed some games. Monte Ellis has sat out some games. They're trying to get 3 new guys acclimated to Don Nelson's system. So they're used to playing without some of their best players. But guys like Al Harrington, Petrus, Jackson, Monte Ellis, I mean, they have guys on the team that are capable of putting 20 up on you. It's just, can they get it done defensively? That's been the question all year.
Harrington knocked down the 3 ball, and Golden State out in front. P.J. Brown fouled underneath by Al Harrington. And in speaking with a lot of the Golden State Warriors prior to this contest, you get the feeling that especially the newcomers, Tom, they enjoy playing Don Nelson's up and down, high-octane, fast-paced type of basketball.
Who doesn't? I mean, everybody loves playing that style of basketball. I still remember how big the smile was on my face my first year with Fernelli. He said, guys, this year we want to lead the league in scoring. Oh, everybody does a happy room.
Everybody gets their jacks up. Don Nelson in his 28th season as an NBA head coach and his 2nd time around here at Golden State. P.J. Brown going to the free throw line, meanwhile, for the Chicago Bulls. Chicago is coming off a disheartening loss last night up in Sacramento, just up the interstate. They lost by 9 points, and Scott Skiles' team still trying to prove, Tom, that they are a viable candidate in the Eastern Conference, but part of being able to prove that means winning on the road, especially against Western Conference teams.
Well, their style certainly is more beneficial to them at home because they are a jump shooting team. Now, you saw them go inside to P.J. Brown. They did that early last night against Sacramento, but when it comes down to it, they are a draw and kick team, and when shots aren't going, it can be tough on the road.
Petrus underneath off the nice feed from Al Harrington. Golden State leading by 3, just underway here in the first period.
We asked Scott Skiles that before the game. You know, what happens when the draw and kick doesn't work? And he kind of gave you that look like, well,
it's a long night.
I don't really know.
That's what happened last night.
Yep.
Ben Gordon, in fact, as Heinrich fires away, missing the 3. Ben Gordon missed every shot that he took in the first half, going 3 for 16 overall on the night. As Al Harrington knocks down his 2nd jump shot, he's got 5.
And I really think he's going to do well here under Don Nelson. It's just a different type of system under Rick Carlisle, more half court. It'll take him a while to get used to it here playing this style, but I really think him and Steven Jackson are going to fit in here well. And I think the Warriors, in that trade with the Pacers, he was the best player in that deal.
Petrus from downtown. Speaking of the deal, the Golden State 4 and 6 in the 10 games they've played since that big trade. Chicago back the other way. I know a little 2-man game with P.J. Brown.
They run a lot of high pick and rolls with their guards.
Brown inside, rejected at the rim by Petrus, and Brown committing the foul. Good defensive help by the Frenchman.
And see, one of their problems, they just don't have a lot of, I mean, their big guys aren't great finishers around the rim. A nice block right there by Petrus. But P.J. Brown is most effective on the pick and pops, you know, when he can turn and face the bucket, maybe one little dribble or dribble drive all the way there. He's not a guy that you're going to throw the ball into down there and do a lot of work on a nightly basis.
5-point lead for Golden State. Ellis out top. Ellis having a breakthrough season for the Warriors, just a second-year player. Petrus
travel,
and he walked with it underneath. Chicago basketball, and the Bulls Get Golden State tonight, and then after this, it's on to Phoenix on Sunday, a game you'll see on ESPN. And Chicago Bulls to a man saying that this game tonight, a lot to play for, a lot at stake. They've got to get a little bit of their swagger back, their confidence back after last night. And consecutive losses on the road in Sacramento, before that in Utah. As the Bulls now 0 for 5 from the field to start the game. Harrington on the wing. A little bit of a mismatch against Ben Wallace on the edge. Tom.
Yeah, Ben Wallace not used to stepping out and guarding players who can shoot the three or put the ball on the ground. And Harrington did a nice job there of showing him the ball and then moving him back off of him with one dribble and being able to pull up and free himself up with some space and the jumper.
Deng left wide open on the baseline off the screen, and he knocks it down. Lou Deng averaging about 18 points a game for Chicago, their second leading scorer. Little mismatch here. Jackson working it against Heinrich. Steven Jackson and one, muscling Heinrich for potential three-point play. The headband got knocked off kilter.
He just punished him. I thought he was very close to get an offensive foul right there. I mean, he really dislodged Kirk Heinrich and then was able to get the foul and get it. Watch this one right there. I mean, that's pretty close to get an offensive foul, yet he gets the bucket and the free throw. Much to his delight, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's referee speak there. Dislodged. Impressive. 8-point lead for the Golden State Warriors. 8:39 to go here in the first period. Mark Jones along with Tom Tolbert here at Oracle Arena. Second half of the doubleheader tonight. NBA Friday on ESPN. And Ben Gordon finally finds the bucket.
Well, that's what you do when you're struggling from the field. 3 for 12 last night. Misses his first shot tonight. You get to the rim. Try and get yourself something easy. And right there, gets by Biedrins. He gets a foul and gets himself to the free throw line. And those are the type of things that can get you going and get your confidence back. And those are the type of things that will take it from you.
Yeah. Gordon missing the free throw. He can be streaky when it comes to shooting. Here's Ellis on the baseline. Got a little separation and knocked it down. Monte Ellis shaking off a little bit of a knee injury against Minnesota a couple nights ago. Only played 16 minutes. Gordon with a little get-back, payback. Couldn't find it. And Matt Barnes, who's checked into the game with the outlet. Harrington feeling good. That time a little bit strong. And now the pace picking up just a little bit. Pace that Golden State is comfortable playing at. Deng from the baseline, and he has 4 points in the game.
Well, you got to be careful if you're the Chicago Bulls. Certainly you like to get out in transition, more so off turnovers, but this is what the Warriors want to do at home. I mean, they want to get out. They want to push tempo. They are very comfortable playing up in the 100s, 110s, 120s. Chicago's got to be careful to make sure they pull back when they feel Golden State getting on a run.
Harrington pulls it up. I thought about it. Forced that one. Back come the Bulls. Deng, who has really cut down on the number of three-pointers that he's taken this year. Instead, moved in a couple of feet and knocking down the intermediate jump shots. His efficiency way up, and he has 6 points in this game. 14-10 now, and Jackson going back to work on Heinrich. Kicks it out to Harrington. Not shy. You know, we talk about the pace that they want to play at up-tempo. It's been a big adjustment for Al Harrington and his other two newcomer buddies, Jesse Cavicius and Steven Jackson.
Well, they were supposed to play like that this year. They wanted to get younger and a little more athletic in Indiana, but slowly but surely they kind of reverted back to the half-court game, and I really think those guys, I mean, I've seen them play for a couple weeks now, and like I said, if you're a basketball player, this is the way you want to play.
Jackson knocks down the baseline jump shot. I had a chance to speak with both of them, and they both say that, you know, our first couple of practices, we were grabbing onto our shorts a lot. We didn't feel too good halfway through practice. We thought maybe, you know, stuff might be coming back up. All that running. Rebound, Matt Barnes. Actually, Don Nelson told Harrington that he'd like him to lose about 10 pounds. Here's Jackson on the wing working against Heinrich.
Oh, nice move.
Really going to work. Steven Jackson blocked at the rim. Looking for the foul from Joe DeRosa. Won't get it. And Heinrich gets the layup at the other end, and that's going to be a technical foul against Steven Jackson. One more look at that collision at this end.
Spins, beats Heinrich baseline. Yeah. I think he may have an argument there. I mean, he got all ball, but I think he got a little bit of body to go along with it.
There's Nelly consoling his player. Jackson has really fallen in love with the way that They play here, Golden State. Actually, look at his numbers, Tom. Across the board, they're up offensively and scoring about 2.5 points per game more than he did with the Pacers. Golden State basketball leading by 4. Harrington off to a quick start here for the Warriors. Almost looked like Matt Barnes wanted to lob it up for Beatrice.
Well, one of those things that you get going, pretty fast, and you see an opening, and then you start thinking, boy, should I be shooting it? All right, I'll throw it up there anyway.
That foul going to be called against the Warriors, and Matt Barnes, as Heinrich will go to the free throw line after this timeout. Just underway, and the high-octane Warriors out of the gate, and on a nice little roll back after this. Back in Oakland, California, Oracle Aurelian. Then the Golden State Warriors leading by 4, just under 6 minutes to go. And Al Harrington 2 for 2 from downtown, one of the top three-point shooters in the league, and doing it at the intermediate range too, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who offensively can do a lot of different things. And when he faces you up, he can shoot the 3, dribble penetration against bigger guys. What we haven't seen yet that I think he can do as well is get down in that box and punish people who are smaller than him. But he's off to a good start. The rest of the team, obviously, off to a good start. If he keeps going like this, he'll have 48 shots tonight.
Hey, shoot till your arm falls off. It's the Nelly way, right?
Just keep going. Make him take you out if you want to stop shooting. Those are the guys that came over from the Indiana Pacers, and Josh Powell also acquired with Mike Dunleavy, Torrey Murphy, and Mike Diago going to the Pacers, and we'll wait and see. I think right now the key to that trade is going to be how Ike Diago turns out for the Indiana Pacers. I think you know what you have in Mike Dunleavy and Torrey Murphy, but I think there's a chance that Diago could be a dominant low post guy. And if that's the case, the Warriors have been missing that guy for a long, long time. And if he turns out to be that guy, maybe 3 years from now you take a look and say that trade wasn't as good as we thought. But right now, Al Harrington was the best player in that deal. And I thought the Warriors maybe won by a little bit, but it helped both teams.
Right now the Warriors 4 and 6 since that trade. Matt Barnes drills one from long range. Matt Barnes, the former high school All-American. Football player, by the way. 3-point lead for the Golden State Warriors. Now it looked like they gave a little zone look on that sequence defensively, Tom. Harrington in transition for Golden State. Barnes again from downtown.
He's a guy that struggled a little bit the last 3 or 4 weeks. Well, I don't know if it's a little bit. I asked Nelly, head coach of the Warriors, on Nelson. Has he hit a wall? Looks like he's hit a building.
Nelly's pretty frank and blunt when it comes to assessing his play.
Always has been.
Heinrich with 6 on the shot clock. Got it up over Jackson. Out of bounds, it'll be Chicago basketball. Well, coming up on Saturday, that's tomorrow, it's Orlando at New Jersey on NBA TV at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then Sunday on ABC, San Antonio at Miami. Miami losing against Cleveland, followed by the Lakers at Cleveland. That starts at 12:30. Then TNT Thursday, Dallas at Houston, followed by Cleveland at the Lakers. 3-point ball game. Jackson back the other way. At Barnes in the corner. Barnes said that if this basketball thing didn't work out in training camp with the Warriors, that he actually considered, and he had an offer or two out there on the table to try out for a couple of NFL teams.
Well, he has played. I mean, he really has played well this year. He's had games of 34 points, high 20s, games where he's hit 6 or 7 3-pointers, brought a lot of energy. I think the thing head coach Don Nelson likes about him is he can get the ball off the rim. He can do what he's doing now. He can be a point forward. He can get the rebounds and lead the break. But he just, right now, he's been struggling the last month or so.
Although he has had good games against a couple of his former teams, Sacramento and Philadelphia, as Al Harrington corrals the loose ball. Barnes thought about it and then promptly threw it away. Turnover for the Warriors. Golden State averaging almost 23 turnovers per game. That's their second of the night. And Tyrus Thomas into the ball game. Jumper good from the corner. Now the lead down to 1. Jackson really going at Heinrich at the offensive end. Barnes underneath, had it partially blocked. Out of bounds, Warrior basketball. As Petrus comes back into the ball game now for Golden State. Boy, Lou Deng really having a good season too. And he was probably on the fringes of being elected an Eastern Conference All-Star. He made that kind of intermediary step that, Tom, you sometimes have to take before you actually make the squad.
Well, when you watch him play now, the word that comes to mind is efficient. And he's just an efficient scorer. He doesn't take a lot of long-range jump shots, a lot of medium-range jump shots, and he's rebounding. He can handle the ball a little bit, and he's one of those players who can do a lot of things. It's something like that. He can do a lot of things. How about that?
Whatever it is, he's doing it.
He's doing it.
Ben Gordon with the three-pointer, knotting the game at 24. High-scoring contest. Stephen Jackson got it to fall and won. Jackson determined and unrelenting on that drive.
Well, the tough thing about playing a team like the Warriors or the Suns or even a team like Memphis Grizzlies, even though I'm not sure they got the talent the other two do, and none of them have the talent Phoenix does, is they're always pressing you. They're always going at you. So you have to get back. You have to know that they don't care what the shot clock reads. If they get an opening, they're going to take it. On the flip side, though, it's fun to play against them because you know you can score on the offensive end. So, I mean, these are games that I think everybody looks forward to playing in.
Stephen Jackson on the free throw line. He, too, experiencing an increase in his scoring since coming over to Golden State. And, boy, he lit up his former Pacer teammates for 36 during that last 6-game road swing. And I asked him about it before the game. He said, yeah, it felt good. I was getting booed during the game, but you know what? I was being booed while I was playing for the Pacers, too, so it didn't matter that much. 3-point lead.
So right at home.
Yeah.
You see the Warriors in their zone right now, trying to force you.
Foul on the Warriors, so we're going to take a timeout. Stephen Jackson still has a home for sale in Indianapolis, and when we come back, we're going to tell you, you're never going to guess who his former next-door neighbor is. We'll tell you on the other side.
15th straight home victory, and the Rockets were the victim. Jerry Stackhouse to Dirk, who had 15. A balanced attack for Dallas and a 21-point win. And the Suns sans Steve Nash, hosting Atlanta. David Stoudemire to Raja Bell. Just a 1-point game after 3. Much more at halftime. Mark?
And despite Dallas's, Phoenix's win streaks this year, Dallas still with the best record in the Western Conference. Matt Barnes back in the basketball game after that vaudevillian type hook a few moments ago. Ben Gordon missing the free throw. You think Nelly has a quick hook? Watch this.
Well, I've been there. It's fun to play for him, but just don't turn the ball over because...
Go get him.
He did not.
You've
like
experienced that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the thing about Nelly is he will. If you're a player that plays 40 minutes a game and one of the stars, you can get away with making some errors. But if you're going to come in and play 20, 25 minutes, you just can't do those type of things and expect to stay in the game. And yes, I've been on the receiving end of that, and I've been the guy replacing. I've now come out of the bullpen for guys that have done that.
Beantrich underneath. That's his first field goal of the ball game. He's averaging about 10 tonight, giving Golden State a 4-point lead. The Golden State Warriors playing their first game home after a long, arduous 6-game road swing, ending in Minnesota a couple nights ago, losing by 27. Now back in their zone defense. Gordon from outside, and he gets another 3-ball. Ben Gordon shaking off a poor shooting night last night. Jackson at the other end, and he blew the layup. Stephen Jackson had a good look at it. Deng missing. Sweetie back to Deng. Blocked by Beantrich. Wow.
He's a guy who has really made strides this year with his offensive rebound, his activity around the bucket, and then that type of effort on the block shots. And he has come up big for them this year.
Jackson leading the fast break for the Warriors. Nice feed to Petrus, and Petrus is fouled. A great dime dropped by Stephen Jackson. We were telling you before the break, Stephen Jackson still has a home in Indianapolis. Of course, he used to play for the Pacers. Well, his former next-door neighbor is none other than Tony Dungy.
Oh, I was going to get Soupy Sales.
You would have been really not close. And it was interesting that Jackson telling me that during the time that he was going through some of his legal troubles back in October, that Tony Dungy, the head coach of the Colts, would come over to his home, knock on the door, and they'd sit down on Steven Jackson's couch and just talk about life in general. And head coach of the Colts reassuring him that if he did the right things in life, that things would ultimately work out for him. And Jackson really appreciating the shoulder to lean on going through a very difficult time. It's a lot about the character and the fabric of the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and offering his advice.
Funny you tell that story, and that just seems like Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like so in character for him to do something like that.
Here's Chicago coming back. 2-point deficit that they face, and a little bit more on Jackson. He's, of course, facing charges of criminal recklessness and disorderly conduct in Indianapolis. His trial was originally scheduled earlier, but the judge recently rescheduled it for April, a week before the end of the Warriors' regular season. Heinrich firing from the wing. Petras clear. 1:20 to go in the first period, a high-scoring quarter. Petras missing the long ball, and up and down they go. Chicago has not led yet in the game, and they turn it over. Barnes leading the fast break, a 3-on-1, and Barnes got it back, not the way it was drawn up, but it counts nonetheless. He's got 5.
Off the deflection. Yeah, I think that was one Steven Jackson probably should have taken himself, because the defender didn't stop him and make him pass it up. Sometimes you get too unselfish on the break, when in fact you should just take it because they're letting you have it.
Heinrich into the corner, Sweetney inside for the clutch. Good pass by Lee Deng. Under a minute to play. It's a 2-point game. Yesikevich is running the point now for Golden State. He's coming off a season-high 20. A couple of nights ago, Bientrich, and a blocking foul called against the Bulls. And that will go against Deng. Andreas Bientrich will go to the free throw line. And his free throw shooting has improved a little bit this year. Hey, let me finish up one quick thing on Steven Jackson and his residence back in Indianapolis. Tom, if you know anybody that's looking for a 7,000 square foot home with 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, colonial style, it's listed. No?
What's the weather like in the winter?
That's a crib, all right. Bientrich missing the free throw, shooting 53% on the season. This Golden State team, you really look at its core, still very young, and Bientrich, one of those guys, just turned 20 years old. And Andre